with parole hearings. I was advised by a judge not to do this and was also not sure where to start. I was in college and working. The last thing I wanted to do was more research. But this upset her and we had an argument. But things went back to normal pretty quickly.
But when Jackie was 36, she saw a documentary about her mother's case. The documentary focused on Caulfield's version of the Alpine murders, portraying Kathy as the manipulative psychopathic criminal mastermind behind the killings, and Gwen as a tragic victim of Kathy's cruel manipulation. So Jackie decided to reach out to her mother once again. Quote, "I felt she needed someone in her corner, and I told her this. I also told her I was still thinking about writing. She knew I thought about writing a memoir since I was around 20 years old. She said she was supportive. This time she told my aunt, her sister, that I had only contacted her for help with writing this book. At least I think that's what she said based on my aunt's reaction. Mom has not contacted me since."
So does Kathy's daughter Jackie have any desire to have a relationship with her?
Well, according to Jackie, it's complicated. She said, quote, "I want a relationship with her, but I don't want to be hurt anymore. I don't want to be misunderstood by her. I can't have both, so I'll have to choose. She may have chosen for me if she decides she no longer wants contact with me."
It definitely hasn't been easy for Jackie, and I have nothing but sympathy for someone in her position. She's torn. It's natural for a child to want a healthy, loving relationship with their parents, but she also knows what her mother did was evil. She wants to be close to someone who she doesn't deny is a murderer.
Jackie doesn't deny she's a murderer, but some people do. If you recall, before the break, we were discussing how Kathy's second polygraph exam, which came back positive, gave law enforcement enough to go on in order to acquire disinterment search warrants to have autopsies performed on the bodies of 2 of the victims. Well, the forensic pathologist who performed the autopsies on Marguerite Chambers and Edith Cook found absolutely no physical evidence of murder on the 2 bodies. He looked for bruising, lesions, self-inflicted cuts in the mouth from a struggle, and found nothing. Despite this, he changed the cause of death on the death certificates from natural causes to homicide, without any objective evidence to justify this change.
I see what you're getting at, but to be fair, in cases of suffocation, it's quite difficult to find hard evidence on the body. And like the forensic pathologist said, quote, "Police aren't out there looking for murders that never took place."
I'll grant you that first point, Greg, but I have to take issue with that last
What
comment.
are those creatures
It's
doing?
not the job of a forensic pathologist to arbitrarily change the cause of death on a death certificate solely based on the experience and confidence of the detectives working the case. It's his job to perform the autopsy, report his findings, and potentially make a change based on objective evidence. And as far as hard evidence is concerned, we really have no reason to believe that these murders ever even took place.
Well, it's certainly sloppy detective work. But do you really think the police would have made this whole thing up?
Not in this case, no. But the police were only going off of Kathy Wood's testimony. And as a vindictive, psychopathic criminal mastermind and pathological liar, it's quite possible that Kathy's the one who made the whole thing up just to get back at Gwen for leaving her.
Well, that's certainly not how the jury eventually saw it. But let's come back to this point in a bit.
Look at him
After
go!
police got the death certificates changed,
He's
Freeman was
good.
able to take this case
He's
to the
clearly
prosecutor's
aiming
office
at those targets
and obtain
now.
warrants for Kathy
He's
and
blocking the
Gwen's
breach
arrest.
on the right!
On December 4th, 1988, Gwen Graham was arrested in Tyler, Texas for the murder of Edith Cook. Kathy Wood is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder for Marguerite Chambers and 1 count of murder for Edith Cook.
In April of 1988, Kathy signed a plea agreement as part of her cooperation with the authorities in the investigation. In exchange for her testimony against Gwen, Kathy was
Well,
charged
that's
with
one
just
less thing
1
to worry
count of
about.
conspiracy to commit murder and 1 count of second-degree murder. Gwen was subsequently charged with 1 count of
Damn, that
conspiracy
thing